Questions.
Time for some email.
Right,
This is Rocky, who says, recently my wife of 29 years had an affair with another man. Her life seems to be going on just fine. She's shown no remorse for what she's done. Is there any justice from God for this act of adultery?
You'd like lightning to come down, perhaps, and destroy her? There's justice. Believe me, there's guilt in that woman. Inside, she's going to feel very guilty, and if she's not, she has no moral compass. She'll feel terrible, and yes, there will be retribution along the way. But what should you do? She's broken the marriage vow. She apparently, as far as you're concerned, has no remorse about it. And I ask you, how did you find out about it? I mean, are you sure this is the case and that you know what you're talking about? Or are you just suspicious? Some men are just terribly jealous and they're terribly suspicious and they don't have any evidence. You see anything about any evidence?
Well, no, but he does say, you know, that she had an affair, so obviously they both know about it.
Well,
you know, you might want to find out why after 29 years of marriage
they don't know. And also, you might ask yourself, what did you do to drive her away? I mean, you've got the inside track. I remember years ago when I played football in high school, I missed a block. And the coach looked at me and he said, I'll never forget it. He said, but you had the angle on him. You know, I mean, the guy's coming in, and I had the angle, and I should have hit him, and I didn't. I missed it. You've got the angle. When you're married to somebody, you've got the angle. They're there in your home. You've got vows together. You've maybe got children together. You've got a shared life together. You've got all kinds of things. And if one of the spouses, what have you done? What have you done? I mean, women and men mostly want to stay in the nest that they have. They don't want to go someplace else. It's too much trouble.
Right.
So ask yourself before you start asking God to send thunderbolts and lightning to maybe having that woman stoned to death or something like that. You ought to ask yourself, what have I done?
What's my part in this?
To drive her away? Have I been loving? Have I been comparing? Have I listened to her when she talks? Do I understand her? And as far as our sexual life, is it compatible? Am I meeting her needs, her physical needs? Ask yourself. Or are you fat and smelly and come home with dirty clothes and sleep in front of the TV and ignore her? I mean, you know, ask yourself. Okay.
Okay. This is Kathleen, who writes, my son wants to get a tattoo of heavenly clouds and doves with a man walking a path through the clouds to heaven on his shoulder. My husband, stepfather to my son, believes that Leviticus 19:28 forbids getting tattoos. This is causing division in our marriage. While I personally do not find tattoos attractive, I also have never thought of them in direct violation to God's will. Can you please help us with this?
Well, I tell you, we're not under the law, but I do agree with your husband on that. I do think Leviticus warns against marking our bodies. And the tattoos, they invariably had to do with some heathen ritual. There would be a symbol of some god, you know, the satanic thing. I just don't think people should mark their bodies. And yes, I think it's a violation of God's law. We are not under the law, but at the same time, there is a